Hi, everyone. It's Yunin from Moscow. And I'm going to briefly introduce the digital modeling angle to the issue of congestion. I am a built environment researcher and I have a background in spatial analysis, analytical urban design, social and political sciences. I'm an alumna of the Bartlett School of Architecture, Space Syntax Lab, and Strelka Institute for Media Architecture and Design. And I work as a consultant for Strelka KB, leading the development of advanced spatial analysis methodologies for Russian cities. So speaking about Moscow, right after the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Moscow quickly took over the spot of the most congested city in the world. And in the recent 30 years, the number of cars in the city saw a multifold increase. Every day there are over 3.6 million cars driving in the city, and there are 200,000 new cars registered every year. And basically coupled with the specificities of spatial form of Moscow, high mobility is a necessity for the city. And eventually there was a need to reverse the negative tendencies. For that purpose, in 1999, the Moscow Traffic Control Center was established in order to develop solutions and strategies for the city. And this center, as you can see on this image, was a landmark project for Moscow city administration and a matter of certain pride, as you can detect just looking at the size of the screen. From the spatial organization of the control room itself and the way kind of this dashboard is positioned, you can see clues to the kind of there are clues basically to the significance of the screen itself. And although the majority of the analysis and control actually happens with manual override behind the scenes, this kind of screen represents the possibilities of control and management, and as we felt, contributes to the mythology of possibilities of control, and also reveals a certain governing culture in its center, city as a system to be monitored and controlled. But despite all efforts, Moscow is still in the top of the most congested cities list. As you can see here, these are messages coming from people spending hours and hours in traffic and kind of interacting with navigation systems. And we feel that in this project, we feel that there is a need for a change in culture of modeling and design. And maybe a change for a culture that does not harbor a need for a congested city to validate its managerial functions. So what this disposition actually means for the issues of congestion? And are there cultures that produce alternative models? Today, advanced urban models are built in consideration of the intrinsic spatiality of human activity, relatedness of space, and appreciation that neither individual parts or related space-time events convey an understanding of the entire system. So for urban congestion infrastructure, that means less focus on road situation analysis of cars, drivers, and traffic lights, and equally less focus exclusively on traffic. And basically, those would be the kind of models that shift the attention from actors, for example, humans making errors and participating in different accidents, to strategic network modeling and design. And examples can be found in complexity theory, space syntax theory as well. The one that provides insights into the mutually constructive relations between society and space. However, as we discover when we learn more about these models, we understand that it's impossible to perfectly simulate a city, since absolute predictions of future are intrinsically impossible, and what we can build instead are conditional predictions. The outcomes are not likely to occur, and they are often highly limited by the research scope and useful primarily for exploring the solution space of the problem and for identification of many possible scenarios for debate and discussion. It is never possible to say that the prediction has actually happened or not, because a city, future of the city is unknowable, and a city can never be perfectly simulated. So during this research, we were discussing that a different way of thinking should be factored into the way simulations are applied in urban design in Moscow and worldwide. And they should be kind of used not only to model futures, but also to explore the guiding narratives, and things that are kind of ingrained in our urban imaginarity and the way we see the city, and maybe less emphasis on creating a mega model that explains the entire city, and more a focus on many models that allow for us to have a grasp of reality.